Hey everyone, and welcome back to TechnoPuzzle, and welcome back to the series on Python. First of all, really sorry about not being active on this channel for a very long time. Actually, I was somewhere out of the station, and then my streak could not continue properly. But from now on, the videos will be continuous for sure. So again, welcome back to TechnoPuzzle. In the last session, we talked about the introduction to loops, and I actually told that I will discuss for loops first, but then during editing of the last video I figured out that I should first of all discuss while loops before for loops. So here we are looking while loops in this session. So what are while loops? With the help of while loops we can execute a set of statements as long as a certain condition is true. So for example, let's say the condition is 2 is equal to 2, and the group of statements that we want to execute are, let's say, this. The first statement is print 3. The next statement is, let's say, print hi. So basically we want to execute these statements if this condition is true. Not actually, we want to execute these statements, that is this group of statements, as long as this condition is true. So this condition is always going to be true, right? Because 2 is always going to be equal to 2. So this will be an infinite loop. That means this will go on forever. So if you notice carefully, it says execute a set of statements as long as a certain condition is true. So basically, as long as this condition is true, that is basically forever, because this condition is true forever, these statements will be executed. That is, Python compiler or interpreter will keep printing 3 high 3 high forever. And this type of thing is called as infinite loop. So now let's take a look at the syntax of this while loop. So this is the syntax of while loop. First we write while, and then the condition that we want to check, which will be here, 2 is equal to 2, and then the group of statements that we want to execute. So our group of statements was print 3, I think it was 3, and then print high, right? So basically in this program we are checking while 2 is equal 2 is equal to 2 or not, and if it is equal to 2 we will print 3, and then we will print high, and after that we will come back to this while statement, and we will check 2 is equal to 2 again, and if it is true again, we will again print 3, and we will again print high. So this will continue unless this condition gets to false, which is not going to happen. So first of all, you might be thinking that this isn't helpful because we don't want to basically do anything forever in our programs, right? Or at least we don't want to run infinite programs or infinite code at least every time. We want sometimes to stop. We want at least a condition that gets to false in any, let's say, what, in any case. So in this situation we can use a variable. Let's say we created a variable and stored the value of 2 in it. Now instead of checking 2 equals to 2, what we can do is, just a second, let's say we made a variable called 2, sorry, a, and stored a value of 2 inside of it. And now instead of checking 2 equals to 2, we can say a is equal to 2. So this means we are checking the condition that if the variable a is containing the value of 2 or not. And if it is, we will again print some statements, let's say print 2 or 3 and print high. And now again, but if we come here, this condition will be true. So this will be true forever again. But what we can do now is we can basically update the value of a at the end of the while loop. That is, a is equal to, let's say, a plus 1. So this means whatever the value of a was, that was 2 before, we will add 1 to it and that will become 3. So the new value of a will be 3. We don't have to write 3 here because it will not be 3 every time. I was just showing you that this value will become 3 when it was 2. And let's say this time this condition is the same. Obviously a is equal to 2, but the value of a is now 3. So 3 is equal to 2, the condition is false, so the control will be outside of this while loop this time. It will not execute these statements again. So I hope you understood at least 50% of it. Now I will just show this thing to you in ideally itself. So here I have opened up ideally. I am going to open up my rough file as always. Now what I'm going to do here is, first of all, make a variable called a and storing the value of 2 inside of it. Now I'm going to use a while loop. I will say while a is equal to 2, and again I have the habit of using a parenthesis here, but it's completely not, I mean, it's completely optional and it's not necessary for you. I just use it because I have the habit of using it from other languages. So now after writing while a is equal to 2, we can say the statements that we want to execute. That is, let's say print 3 and then print hi, right? So first of all, I will recommend here pausing the video and try to think what will be the output. So a is equal to 2 while a is equal to 2. That is, if this condition is true, if a is actually equal to true, we have to do this, and then we will come back to this while statement and we will check this condition again. If a is equal to 2 again, we will do this. So basically this is an infinite loop because this condition is never going to be false. A is always going to be equal to 2 because we have not changed the value of a anytime. So first of all, let me just try to run this and see it's continuously printing 3 high, 3 high. To stop this execution, you just have to press Ctrl and then C. Press Ctrl C and it will stop executing it. Now, now how do we stop this infinite loop? Well, we just have to add a little statement saying a is equal to a plus 1. This just means that take the old value of a, add 1 to it, that is, this time it will add 1 to 2 and this will become 3, and store 3 as the new value of a. So now a will become 3, and when we will check a is equal to 2, this time the condition will become false because a is now 3. So these conditions are not going to be, sorry, these statements, I mean, are not going to be executed. So the control will finally get out of this loop. So just to prove this, let me write print hi at, sorry, not hi actually, because it will mix up with the old print statement. Let's say print hello. Now if we run this, we get 3 hi and then hello. We got 3 and hi because the first time the condition was true, but the second time the while loop, uh, the Python interpreter or compiler encountered the while loop, the value of a was 3, so the condition got false, and Python has to basically terminate this loop, and it got out to print hello. Now let me just show one more example of while loop. Let's say a is equal to 5 while a is greater than, sorry, let's say less than 1. Print a, and then a is equal to a plus 1. Let me actually say a is less than 10. This will be better. So now, first of all, please pause the video and try to predict the output yourself. Now let's try to run this and see what we get. We are getting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me explain what happened. So first of all, we assigned the value 5 inside the variable a. Now when we are basically starting this while loop, we are checking the condition a is less than 10. So now the value of a is 5, which is less than 10, so this condition is true here. So we will print a, and obviously the value of a is 5, so we printed out 5 here, as you can see. Now in the next iteration, that is in the next time we encounter the while loop, the value of a will become 6 because we are incrementing a here using the same technique, that is take the old value of a, add 1 to it, and store it as the new value of a. And by the way, we can use a shorthand operator for doing the same thing. This will be a plus equals 1. This will actually perform the same thing, or at least a similar thing as the old thing that we were doing, like this: a is equal to a plus 1. So instead of writing that, we can write this as well. And actually you should write this one only if you are trying to increment the value of any variable, instead of doing that. So now the value of a has become 6. So 6 is less than 10. Yes, it is true again. So it will print 6 here. And again the value of a become 1 incremented. I mean 7 this time again. So 7 is less than 10. This is also true. So we printed out 7. And now a plus equals 1. That means the value of a will become 8 now. So a is less than 10, also true. It will print 8. Now the value will become 9. And 9 is less than 10. This is also true, so it will print a again, that is 9. But now the value of a by increasing 1 in 10 will become, sorry, but the value of a when we add 1 to the old value of a will become 10 because it was 9 before. And now if we check the condition, 10 is less than 10, the condition is false. So we are not going to enter this while loop. We are not going to enter this while loop here. We will just terminate out of this while loop and end the program. Or we can also say print end or anything like that. So if I run this, we will see end at the last, because when we basically exited this while loop, we came down to print end. And just to prove this, let me make this an infinite loop. Let's just say 10 is equal to 10. So if I do this, we are never going to print end because the while loop will never end, because this condition is always going to be true. So if I run this, we're printing continuously the value of a, which is still increasing, if you can notice properly here. Again, to stop this, we can use Control C. But we never printed end because we never actually got out of the while loop. So I hope while loop was clear, and it will become more clear if you do some practice questions and some practice things on it. I will leave some links in the description for more learning resources. So this is it for this session on Python, and again sorry uh, if and again sorry about not being active on the channel for a long time. So in the next session we will talk about for loops. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.